when the Lake Simcoe Region Conservation Authority began planning for the revitalization of Scanlon Creek. The biggest transformation was going to happen to the online pond that had been constructed in 1970. Although once an attractive destination for swimming and recreation, the fact of the matter is the pond has been deteriorating for years due to contamination, namely E. coli. So much so that it has been officially off limits for human usage since 2003. And because the pond was created by the man-made dam, it cut off natural fish migration routes as well as hindered habitat development for visiting species. And it was a culmination of all these issues that made removing the pond the most logical course of action for the LSRCA. The Lake Simcoe Region Conservation Authority's goals for Scanlon Creek are to improve aquatic habitat as well as maintain the recreational and educational values in the conservation area. Brian Kemp is General Manager for the conservation lands.
So we conducted an environmental assessment here at Scanlon Creek to take a look at what some of our options were for dealing with water quality issues in the reservoir. The best solution that came forward was to actually remove the dam structure, bring the reservoir down and allow a natural channel to come back.
In the summer of 2011, the LSRCA did a temporary drawdown of the reservoir to determine if the natural water course still existed, and after 41 years, could it be restored?
So what's really interesting with this project is we hired a firm to do some work, computer modeling on this pond and take some depths, understand the contours that were at the bottom of the pond and try to predict actually where the water course was going to go. When we let the pond down, Mother Nature took that water course almost spot on where the computer model suggested it was going to go. So the work that Mother Nature has done here, where the water course has ended up, we're really pleased with. It's where we had hoped it would go. It's going to allow us to do the other elements of the project that we really want to do. And one of the things that's really striking when you look at the water course that is starting to emerge is how much gravel is actually at the bottom of the water course and all of the riffles and pools that have now become available for fish and such. So Mother Nature has done her job, and it's, as I say, spot on to what we had predicted through some computer modeling.
Although Mother Nature played a large part in the recreation of the creek, manual labor was also required. In the upper end of the reservoir, planting occurred with the help of the volunteer organization Friends of Scanlon Creek to help stabilize the banks of the channel.
So when you get further downstream from where we are right now, we are still getting fluctuating water levels. So the banks of the creek isn't getting that ability to stabilize and become a landscape like you're seeing here. We did state that we were going to be taking out the dam structure. We have looked at other scenarios, and the one that we are set to go with is to actually take the water course around the dam and put it actually back to where it was. So we're going to work on some channel design around the dam. We're going to leave the dam structure in place. It has some historical significance to it. Our intent is to put a bridge across the dam structure that will then take you to another bridge that goes across the new water course. It'll allow people to get right into the setting of the new water course.
Some have questioned whether removing the reservoir that contained a fish population was the best course for the area. But as Brian explains, the reservoir had more detrimental than positive effects on the aquatic population.
The reservoir is certainly a habitat. It's a pond habitat. Your diversity of species is maybe somewhat limited, and that's simply because there wasn't an opportunity for fish to migrate through here. When the fish came up out of the, say out of Cook Bay or the Holland River up into Scanlon Creek, once they got to the dam, they couldn't go any further. And that impedes their life cycle. They didn't have the ability to get into the upper reaches of Scanlon Creek, so you weren't seeing diverse species through here. Species that you were seeing in the pond here at Scanlon were actually, in most parts, stocked. They thrived in a pond setting, but they weren't. It wasn't a community that was here, I'll say, naturally. The pond also provided habitat for different birds, of course, and those birds are going to stay. We are going to create wetland features adjacent to the watercourse, and we suspect that habitat's actually going to promote a more diverse range of species. The turtles will still stay, the frogs will be here. You will have bird species that like creek corridors, for instance. You'll have bird species that will want to complete part of their life cycle in a wetland. So by opening up the pond or letting the pond go back to a natural watercourse, our feeling is we're going to get a more diverse community of wildlife in here.
At the upper end of the creek, the naturalization process has really taken hold and is producing some amazing results.
We're seeing that watercourse go back to where we had hoped it would go. We're starting to see different wildlife emerge and use this watercourse. There are a lot of frogs, there are a lot of minnows flashing up and down this system. Just what's left behind in the channel is encouraging. Seeing the gravel bottom come back and not that silty, muddy bottom that was here. Seeing that nice gravel bottom and seeing that fresh water flow over it and create those riffles. Seeing the vegetation around us, we're starting to see a lot of nice willow come in and dogwood come in. We've done some plantings in here on some small shrubs and hardwood saplings just to start to encourage that succession to occur. And I think over time you're going to start to see the forest that's lining the side of the pond right now start to come back to the watercourse, bringing that shade back, bringing Scanlon Creek back to a nice, clear, cold water stream that it could potentially be.
As part of the long-term management plan, the LSRCA will be reviewing the work done on the property as well as the collaborative improvement projects with surrounding landowners to determine the impact their efforts are having on water quality, wildlife, and to gauge public response.
We're quite encouraged, actually. We set out on a course to bring people back to this property. We set out on a course to provide amenities for them. We think we've done a great job of that. Of course, the test is going to be the review of this management plan to see how on course we are.
The restoration work will continue with the naturalization of the entire length of the watercourse, continued establishment of wetlands, and the construction of additional boardwalks, and has a completion date set for 2015.